All House of the Dragon. Dragons and their riders. Rhaenyra rode the dragon Syrax. She first took Syrax as a mount in 104 AC. Syrax was described as a young dragon at the time, and Rhaenyra herself named the dragon. Syrax was a female dragon. She was ridden solely by Rhaenyra Targaryen. Her name came from a goddess of Valyria. Syrax had yellow scales. She was huge and formidable, but not as fearsome or experienced in battle as Caraxes. She was kept in chains and exceedingly well fed. She had not hunted for years at the time of the Civil War. Syrax laid several clutches of eggs during the reign of Viserys. Her latest clutch was produced just prior to the Civil War. One of the eggs from that latest clutch was given to Rhaenyra's stepdaughter. Following her difficult stillbirth at the beginning of the war, Rhaenyra recovered enough strength to fly on Syrax, along with her other Dragonriders, when they assaulted and captured King's Landing, with little opposition. Caraxes, also called the Blood Worm, was ridden by Aemon son of Jaehaerys, and later Daemon Targaryen. Caraxes was red, huge, and lean. In battle he was formidable, fearsome, and experienced. During the Dance of the Dragons, Caraxes was about half the size of the huge Vhagar. Meanwhile, Vhagar was 3 times the size of younger dragons such as Targaryen or Seasmoke. Meleys was faster than both Caraxes and Vhagar. By 105 AC, Aemon's nephew, Prince Daemon Targaryen, had claimed Caraxes as his mount. Daemon used Caraxes during the War for the Stepstones. At the start of the Dance of the Dragons, Daemon landed Caraxes on Kingspire Tower during the assault on Harrenhal. Meleys, called the Red Queen, was a female dragon ridden by Princess Alyssa Targaryen and Princess Rhaenys Targaryen. Meleys had scarlet scales and pink membranes on her wings, for which she received her alias, the Red Queen. Her crest, horns, and claws were bright as copper. Rhaenys rode Meleys during the Dance of the Dragons. When Rook's Rest was besieged by the army of Ser Criston Cole in 129 AC, Rhaenys flew Meleys to the castle to lend aid. Meleys was attacked by Cole's army with iron bolts, which angered her but did not do her harm. In response, she spit fire on the men below. Seasmoke was a dragon ridden at first by Ser Laenor Velaryon and later by the Dragonseed, Adam of Hull. Seasmoke was a pale silver-gray dragon. It was a fighting size during the dance but still a young dragon and nimbler in the air than his older brothers. He was of comparable size to Targaryen, who was about 3 times smaller than Vermithor, and not as fearsome a beast as him in comparison. Seasmoke was Laenor's pride and passion until Laenor's death. Sunfire, also known as Sunfire the Golden, was a male dragon ridden by Aegon Targaryen II. Sunfire had gleaming gold scales, which shone like beaten gold in the sunlight, and pale pink wing membranes. His flames were golden as well. According to Archmaester Gildane, Sunfire was the most beautiful dragon ever seen in the known world. Huge and heavy, the splendid Sunfire was a formidable fighter despite his youth. King Aegon II Targaryen rode Sunfire during the Dance of the Dragons. The civil war fought between the Greens of Aegon and the Blacks of his half-sister, Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen. Vermax was a dragon ridden by Prince Jace Velaryon. Vermax was thriving and growing larger every year. Vermax became ill-tempered when in proximity of snow, ice and cold. When Prince Jace Velaryon was young, there were rumors that he was a bastard, fathered by Sir Harwin Strong, instead of his mother Rhaenyra Targaryen's husband, Sir Laenor Velaryon. The rumors were spread by Queen Alicent Hightower and her followers at court. Those who doubted the paternity of Jace and his brothers, also doubted that the dragon eggs the boys had been given would ever hatch. But they were quickly disappointed, as each of the eggs soon hatched in turn. The egg that hatched, that bonded with Prince Jace was Vermax. By the time the Dance of the Dragons began, Vermax was big enough to ride. Prince Jace Velaryon flew north on his back, as a messenger for his mother, Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen. The message was for Jane Arryn, the Lady of the Eyrie, Desmond Manderly, the Lord of White Harbour, and Cregan Stark, the Lord of Winterfell. The mission was a success as all three declared for Rhaenyra and her blacks. Prince Jace used Vermax in battle, during the battle in the Gullet. There, Vermax attacked a fleet. Dreamfire was a female dragon, ridden by Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, daughter of Aenys Targaryen, and later by Princess Helaena Targaryen. Dreamfire was a slender dragon. Her coloration was primarily pale blue, with silver markings. She had silver crests and pale blue wings. By 35 AC, Dreamfire was large enough for the 12-year-old Rhaenyra Targaryen to mount her. Dreamfire bonded with Princess Helaena Targaryen. Helaena was riding Dreamfire by age 11, and the dragon was beloved to her. During the Dance of the Dragons, Helaena spent her days in darkness, weeping, and was not capable of riding Dreamfire anymore. Dreamfire resided in the Dragon Pit. Dreamfire remained chained in the Dragon Pit when the people of King's Landing stormed the pit. Out of the 4 dragons present, Dreamfire was the only dragon able to break free of her chains when the mob broke in. She took wing, circled the cavernous interior of the dome and swooped down to attack the men below. She slew more men than the other 3 dragons combined. Arrax was a dragon ridden by Prince Lucerys Valerian during the Dance of the Dragons. Arrax's coloration was pearlescent white with yellow flames, golden eyes and a golden chest. At the outbreak of the dance he was mature enough to be ridden, but still young and growing. He was 5 times smaller than Vhagar. Lucerys Valerian was the only rider of Arrax. Moondancer was a young she-dragon, ridden by Lady Baela Targaryen. Moondancer was a slender pale green. Her horns, crest and wing bones were pearl. She was very quick, both in the sky and on the ground. Although in 129 AC, Moondancer was not yet considered large enough to carry the 13-year-old Baela Targaryen, a year later Baela was able to mount the dragon. At the time, she was no larger than a warhorse and weighed less. Moondancer remained at Dragonstone with her rider, Lady Baela Targaryen, for most of the first 2 years of the Dance of the Dragons. Vhagar was a female dragon of House Targaryen. She was ridden by Queen Visenya Targaryen during Aegon's conquest. Other known riders of Vhagar are Prince Balon Targaryen, Lady Laena Velaryon, and Prince Aemon Targaryen. Vhagar was named for one of the gods of Old Valyria. Vhagar was bronze with greenish-blue highlights and bright green eyes. According to Tyrion Lannister, Vhagar was large enough that one could ride a horse down her gullet. It is said that Vhagar's breath was so hot that it could melt a knight's armor and cook him inside. In 120 AC, Laena takes matters into her own hands, leaving her birthing chamber and walking out to where her beloved dragon rests on the beach. She chooses to die by Dracarys, ordering Vhagar to set her on fire, and after some horrified hesitation, the dragon puts his rider out of her misery. Following Laena's funeral on Driftmark, the 10-year-old Prince Aemon Targaryen claimed Vhagar as his own dragon. By 129 AC, Vhagar had grown nearly as big as Balerion had been during Aegon's conquest, and had become the largest living dragon of her time. Aemon would continue to fly Vhagar in battle during the Civil War, between King Aegon II and Queen Rhaenyra. Vhagar caused more destruction than an entire army during the Dance of the Dragons.